All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about the single most powerful force inside you, your emotions. We're going to look at how to take them from something that can feel, totally chaotic and turn them into your greatest source of strength. So, let's get into it.
I mean, we've all been there, right? That moment when a wave of anger or maybe a deep sadness just completely takes over. It feels like you're not in the driver's seat anymore. It's a totally universal human thing, and today we're going to break down exactly how you can start to navigate those currents.
Now, what we're talking about today is based on a lesson from the Flying Wings online school. And what's cool about their approach is that it's all about building practical skills. It's not just about surviving tough times, but actually using them to thrive.
Okay, so first things first. Before we can even think about managing our feelings, we kind of have to understand them. I mean, what even are they? This is a big one. Let's try to totally reframe how we look at emotions. Stop thinking of them as enemies to be fought. Instead, think of them as data. They're like your body's built-in alert system, this internal compass that's constantly pointing you toward what's important, what might be dangerous, or maybe just what needs a little bit of your attention.
So why do they matter so much? Well, because they're basically the engine behind almost everything we do. Seriously, they fuel our decisions, they're the key to connecting with other people, and they drive our actions, which, of course, shapes all of our relationships. Take them away, and we'd basically be flying blind.
And that brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today. It's this incredible skill of moving from that knee-jerk, automatic reaction to a much more thoughtful response. And this, my friends, is the art and science of emotional regulation.
So what does that actually mean? Well, emotional regulation is simply the ability to first recognize what you're feeling, then understand why you're feeling it, and finally choose how to handle it in a smart, healthy way. And the key word here is handle, because this is absolutely not about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist.
And this distinction it's just so crucial. I love this quote. It's not about ignoring them. Think about it. Trying to ignore a strong emotion is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You know what happens, right? Eventually, it's going to shoot up, and probably with a lot more force. Regulation isn't about that. It's about seeing the beach ball, acknowledging it, and then deciding what to do with it.
And the good news is, this isn't some kind of magic trick. It's a really practical three-step process. First up, awareness. You just got to name the feeling. Literally say to yourself, okay, I am feeling frustrated. Step 2, understanding. Ask yourself why. I'm frustrated because I feel like I didn't prepare enough. And finally, the most important part, control. You choose your response. All right, instead of just sitting here stewing, I'm going to make a real study plan.
Okay, this is a perfect example of that fork in the road. The trigger, you get a low grade. Now look at the two paths. The unregulated reaction, shouting, blaming the teacher, just giving up, that's all about releasing that immediate pressure, but it solves absolutely nothing. Now the regulated response, you pause, you cool down, you actually look at your mistakes, you ask for help. See the difference? That path is about solving the problem. One keeps you stuck, the other moves you forward. It's a huge difference.
So how do you actually do this stuff in the heat of the moment? Well, here's your practical toolkit. You can start with something physical, right? Just taking one deep breath can instantly start to calm your nervous system down. Then you move to the mental game. Just naming the emotion. Okay, I feel angry, can actually lessen its power over you. And then there's a story you tell yourself. Shifting your internal self-talk from, I'm such a failure, to, okay, what can I learn from this? That changes the entire game. These are real, practical tools you can use literally anytime.
Okay, so emotional regulation is amazing for handling the heat of the moment. But what happens when you get knocked down anyway? What do you do after the setback? Well, that's the other half of this equation, and it's called resilience. Simply put, resilience is your ability to bounce back. And it's not about building this giant wall so that hardship can never touch you. No way. It's about developing the strength to face it head-on, learn whatever you can from it, and keep on moving forward. And honestly, this is the most amazing part. You often come out the other side stronger than you were before.
Let's make this a little more real. I want you to meet Sarah. She's dealing with some pretty serious obstacles, right? She doesn't have all the study resources she needs. She's got a ton of family responsibilities. And, it's totally understandable. She's starting to feel really discouraged.
So what's her game plan? There are no superpowers here. It's just smart, resilient strategies. Check this out. She takes this huge, overwhelming problem and breaks it down into small, actually achievable goals.
She focuses on being consistent, not on being perfect. She's not afraid to ask her teachers for help, and she actively uses that positive self-talk we mentioned to keep herself motivated. I mean, this is resilience in action right here.
And what happens? Well, it wasn't some overnight miracle, of course not. But through all these small, consistent, resilient actions, Sarah gradually started to improve. And what's even more important, her confidence just grew. She was learning that she really was capable of overcoming challenges.
All right, let's tie this all together now, because emotional regulation and resilience, they're not two separate things. They're actually this incredible power duo. They work together to build real, genuine mental strength.
And this table just breaks it down so perfectly. Think of it like this. Emotional regulation is your go-to tool for the moment of the challenge. It keeps you calm so you can think clearly and solve the problem. Then resilience is your tool for the long haul. It's what helps you get back up after you've been knocked down, and it's what keeps you moving towards success.
So, as we start to wrap this up, what are the big takeaways? What should you really remember? First, your emotions are your allies, not your enemies. They're just information. Second, your real power isn't in what you feel, it's in how you choose to respond. Third, regulation helps you in the moment, and resilience keeps you going for the long haul. And maybe the most important point of all, please remember this. These are not traits you're born with. They are skills, and like any skill, you can build them little by little every single day.
And that brings us to you. I want to leave you with a question to really think about this week. What's one challenge? It can be big, it can be small, that you know is coming up. Got it? Okay. Now, which tool from our toolkit today are you going to use to meet it? Will it be just pausing, taking a deep breath, shifting your self-talk? Because your path to getting stronger, it really does start with that one single conscious choice.